This is what we found in our kitchen this morning. We just got out of bed. Guess he somehow snuck under the door. There aren't any trees in here, you know. Hey everybody, it's Emily, and yeah, that's crazy. I don't think we've ever seen a walking stick here in October, not very often, and we certainly have never had one in the house. We've had all sorts of other critters inside the house, giant centipedes, scorpions, the Carolina wolf spiders, yeah, all sorts of other things, but never, and of course the praying mantis, but never a walking stick, so that was kind of weird. But today I want to address a comment that I saw somebody make on its living big in a tiny house. It was his channel, and a video he put up at one point. I'm saying he because I'm spacing out his name for the moment, but he put up a video and somebody commented and said, well, it's nice because the couple who was living in the tiny house lived in a climate that's pretty much warm year-round. I can't remember if they were in Australia, or they may have been in Australia or New Zealand. Anyway, so somebody commented and to the effect of, well, it's nice for them to live in a tiny house, but those of us who have a 4-season wardrobe just couldn't live in a tiny house. Well, number one, there are plenty of people in the United States who live in 4-season climate. They live in the north, and they're living in tiny houses. And people don't think of the south of the United States as having 4 seasons, because if you're like me, when I was growing up, I would think of like Arizona and South Florida and California, Southern California, and I thought all of the South had that kind of tropical or desert temperature year-round. No, not true. We do actually experience 4 seasons. Really, I mean, when you think about it, nobody experiences more than 3 seasons, because you've got summer, which is hot, winter, which is cold, and spring and fall, basically they both have kind of the same temperatures. They're kind of like in between temperatures. So really, we're talking about, you know, nobody ever needs more than a 3-season wardrobe. But can you live in a tiny house if you live in a place that has 4 seasons? You know, you've got those 3 temperature differences. You've got to have clothes for each season. Well, look around our place. That's the living room. That curtain is Benjamin's bedroom. That's the bathroom, and all of these rooms are just 8 by 8. This is our bedroom. So living room, kitchen, the end of our house. Now, I'm not sure we could qualify it as tiny. It's 576 square feet, but let me show you our wardrobe. So here's the wardrobe Jerry built for us. I'll put a link at the top so in case you want to watch that video on how Jerry built this. And as I open it up, you need to understand that we have probably twice as much clothing in here as we need, because we have not been minimalist. We were not minimalist. We overbought clothing until recently, until basically we moved. We had a lot of extra clothing. You know, we were both in our 40s when we moved here, so we had extra clothes, and we weren't going to get rid of the clothes just because of somebody's philosophy that you're only supposed to have 100 items or whatever ridiculous thing. Okay, we weren't going to throw out clothes that we would need eventually, because clothes fall apart. We would need them eventually, so we weren't going to just throw them out or give them to Goodwill or whatever and then have to buy new clothing later. But these 2 shelves are Jerry's. He's got clothes for just hanging around the house, and clothes for when we want to dress up, you know, going to Tulsa or something like that, want to dress up a little nicer. But a lot of this winter stuff, he hardly ever puts on a sweater. I mean, he walks around here, it's like 30 degrees outside, and he's still walking around with his t-shirt and shorts. So, like I said, he might need, he's got, what, 4 sweaters in here, and maybe he should have 1 because he never wears them. Maybe he'd have 1 for an extra, or for, you know, like I said, going to Whole Foods in Tulsa or something. And a lot of the shirts, you know, he only has like two in rotation, really. So keep in mind as I'm showing you this, really probably he only actually wears a third of the clothing you're seeing right here. Here's mine. The same thing, I really have trouble throwing out clothes. I'm like, just in case something's in the wash and I want to put on something else, or just in case, like, I have this cute denim dress that's, you know, starting to tear apart. But what if I want to do a grungy job outside in the middle of the summer and I don't want to mess up my, you know, newer dresses? Well, I put on that. But I don't need it. I mean, basically, these two dresses are my summer wardrobe right now. And I've got a blue shirt like this that I'm wearing right now. You saw it in the video. I've got my swim stuff, 2 pairs of just-in-case shorts, which I don't. This one's ripping apart. This one, I just don't like how it fits me. It might end up at the Goodwill pretty soon. But, so basically, I actually only wear half of what's on this shelf. And look how empty it is. Hello? And winter stuff. I have a just-in-case hoodie that's kind of falling apart. And the winter stuff just does take up more room. But look, this is my winter stuff all on one shelf, plus it has my fanny pack. And then we've got our underwear and socks, handkerchiefs down here. And the stuff below isn't even clothes. This all could very easily fit in a tiny house, on shelves or in drawers or such. What about our good clothes? Our good clothes. Here's our coat closet. And I mean, if we had a tiny house, we'd probably each have one coat or jacket, and they would be all squished together, place to hang up. But this coat is hiding our fancier clothes here that we haven't needed yet. We haven't needed them for, well, since we moved here. And the coat is here keeping the dust off. And you see the dust on the coat instead of the clothes. But I mean, that doesn't take up much room. That would be easy. It'd be easy. I mean, I've seen lots of tiny houses with just really skinny closets for hanging clothes in. So, could you live in a tiny house if you live in a climate that requires a 3-season wardrobe? Yes. The trick is you need to get out of the mainstream cultural mindset that you need tons of outfits for each season. You only really need 2 or 3 outfits for each season. It's even easier to do if you color coordinate shirts and, you know, tops and bottoms. Color coordinate everything. That makes it even easier to have less. If you have just 2 or 3 outfits, if you don't need to have different, you know, a different outfit for every day, then yes, you can easily fit a 3-season wardrobe in a tiny house. So if you've been thinking about living in a tiny house, you've been thinking about building even a very small home, but you're looking at your wardrobe and thinking, no way, well, you need to declutter and prioritize. Do you want tons of clothes or do you want a smaller house? It's up to you, you know. It's all good, whatever you choose. But I was just making this video as an answer to that comment. It is incorrect that just because you live in a place that has 4 seasons, therefore you cannot live in a tiny house. That's not correct. It's called minimalizing your wardrobe. Well, thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and share it. I'll see you for the next one. In the meantime, take care and be well.